Hey, Armand here with your forecast, your astrology forecast for the week of December 7th, 2020. Okay, so simple little message for this week. Get it done early. If there's anything that has to be done, you want to get it done Monday or Tuesday. That's pretty much your window of opportunity for any practical types of things. Should have put this forecast out a little bit earlier so you'd have a little bit more time, but you're fine. We have a moon in Virgo. It's making trines to the Capricorn planets, making trines to Uranus. Generally speaking, good energy, a grand Earth trine, nice practical stuff going on Monday. You can continue that into Tuesday, and we're good. And then we hit midweek. Now, the moon goes into Libra. As usual, the Libra moon will be squaring the Capricorn planets, and that feels a little, ouchy type of thing. It's not the smoothest possible energy. But the big thing that happens on Wednesday is that the sun will be squaring Neptune. Now, sun square Neptune, which we feel building through the week, is a great energy for some things, great energy for exploration, great energy for philosophy, great energy for shamanic journey. So the moon, the sun in Sagittarius, Neptune in Pisces, shamanic journeying. This is the time to sort of get out there and take the time to meditate, pray, connect with your deities. This type of thing is really, really good this week, midweek. Okay. Practical matters, though, forget it. You're just so likely to make too much or too little out of something. The Sun square Neptune can be this sort of I give up, sacrifice kind of energy, which isn't really very good. It could be the martyrdom energy. You don't want to get tangled up with that, right? And it could also be the kind, it doesn't necessarily be about you, it could be about the other person who then becomes sort of a demon or a god or goddess or something like that. A situation can seem really wonderful or really horrible. So, whatever we're looking at this week through a practical Saturnian lens, once we get to the middle of the week, it's just not so good. It's great for getting out there, it's not great for being in here. So, what we want to do is take care of that stuff early in the week. Now, as we get along past Wednesday, then you think, well, Thursday, Friday, and so on. Yeah, a little bit of a break. Scorpio moon will kind of help out, as much as the Scorpio moon ever helps out. But we're getting near to a Neptune Mercury square. Now, if the sun square Neptune has this sort of ambiguous energy about it, when we get to Mercury square Neptune, we're looking at it's worse than Mercury retrograde. Nah, I'm not one of those people that's always looking at things in such a negative term or anything like that. But if you're trying to do something practical, Mercury square Neptune is just not great. The facts just slip away. They bend too much towards whatever you think that they should be bent towards. Now, the Sun and Mercury are both in Sagittarius with the South Node, and we're heading into next week's solar eclipse in Sagittarius. That's what happens when you start talking really fast. You sort of forget what you're going to say. The next word isn't lined up for you. Anyway, we're heading right for that solar eclipse in Sagittarius on the 13th. Now, with this being a south node eclipse, and with the sun and Mercury hitting that, and the moon eventually hitting that south node, then we're looking towards, again, this sort of bending more towards beliefs as opposed to facts, getting riled up, going out on the crusade, whether or not it's really a good idea. You just kind of get a little bit overly enthused based upon what you think you already know, because everybody should already know it. You can really imagine in the collective this, it's pretty much standard issue for the collective now, but as we go ahead into this eclipse, we're going to be getting a very intense feeling for that. So that Mercury Neptune thing is going to be very active by the time we get to the weekend. But I would feel it coming in. I wouldn't sign papers or make agreements on the Thursday, Friday either, because it's just too slippery. There's just not that kind of practical energy that you would need for something like that. So it's a great week, Wednesday through Sunday, great week for, kind of going within or going up and connecting with things. Less good for dealing with things on the practical earthly plane. So, that's okay. Um, I would, look to your insights in the shamanic realms or whatever with a little bit of skepticism, though. I remember with holotropic breath work, Stan Groff was always saying, if you have this great insight about something you should do with your life, that's great. You probably want to wait like 4 to 6 months, sort of come down, as it were, and see if it still seems like a good idea in a more practical sense. And it's that kind of energy that I think we might want to look at here. You could really, as we come into this eclipse, you could really be having some insights about your life and where it can go and what you can do. Hold the insight, but let's give it some time to test it out. Let's give it a few months to test it out before we act on it. Maybe the thing to do is to give up all your worldly possessions and go on a trek through the desert. Now, that might be a good thing for you. But let's wait a little bit before we act on things. So, practical stuff early in the week. After that, on the meditation cushion, whatever you want to do. Go out, explore. Well, you can't go out that far, right? But do what exploration you can. Do it in books, do it through music, do it through meditation, do it through a walk in nature. Do what you can do in these COVID-y times. It's not really a very, even if there wasn't the pandemic, I wouldn't say it was the most sociable energy. So you can kind of do just about, take a long drive. Just do something that gets you away from yourself for a little bit, gets you sort of out of your usual box, get some insights, or just maybe not even some insights, just get out of the usual box for a few days. Don't worry so much about practical stuff, and we'll reconvene next week and figure out what to do.